An awesome good morning to my dear students. I hope that all of you are fine and safe at the places wherever you are, and all of you are taking good care of you and your family. And I hope that you have enjoyed the vacations. After a break, welcome back to your computer class. So, dear students, we have completed up to chapter number 8. Now chapter number 9 and 10 are left. Chapter number 9, programming in Scratch, we will be doing later on. Now we will be starting chapter number 10, internet, online surfing. All of you must be excited to see this topic. I will explain you, and all of you are well versed with this topic, because nowadays all of you know that without internet nothing is possible. If you want to do some online work, then you must have internet connection in your mobile or in your laptop. So dear students, in this chapter you will be able to learn popular internet services, potential threats using the internet, netiquettes, email and its features, attaching a file, how to attach a file and send through email, how to reply and forward email, adding signature, managing contacts, log out or sign out. So let's start reading here. The internet is defined as a network of millions of computers connected to each other worldwide through telephone lines or cables. You can relate the term internet to the telephone network or interstate highway system, which is spread across and interconnected to each other. It is the largest information database and has become a vital part of our life. And it enables the users to share ideas and search for information on any topic. So basically, internet is what? It is a network of millions of computers connected to each other. Through internet, we can connect millions of computers to each other worldwide. Through telephone lines, we can use telephone lines, or we can use cables also. It is like an interstate highway system which is spread across and interconnected to each other. Largest information database, and all of you know that it become a vital part of our life, and it enables the users to share ideas, different ideas you can share, and any information you can search on any topic. The booming technologies of the modern age have made our life much easier and more connected across the globe via interconnected networks. Booming technologies of modern age. So in today's environment, different technologies, different advanced technologies are there. Through these technologies, our life is much easier and more connected across the globe via interconnected networks. Although the internet has provided great opportunities in almost all spheres, we know that internet has great opportunities in almost all spheres, but in spite of that, we should remain cautious, careful of various types of challenges and threats associated with it. Different challenges and different threats are associated with it, so we should remain careful, we should remain cautious. So in this chapter, we will give a brief introduction of several internet services like email, online chatting, video conferencing, e-learning, social networking, and the various threats associated with the use of internet and best practices that should be followed while using the internet. Now, email is what? The most popular means of online communication will be further discussed. I will discuss here. So some popular internet services are there. First is email. Email is what? Email is known as electronic mail. It is an economical mode of communication, less expensive. And how does it help? It facilitates in sending the messages and files such as pictures, songs, videos to multiple people at the same time through email. Only what should be known, you should have the email ID of that person, of the people to whom you want to send. Now, online chatting. Chat is a more personalized form of communication that happens live. Amazing way of communication allows users to send instant messages back and forth to each other. We can send messages to each other, and you can also interact with other users through voice and video chats also. And chatting on internet can take place how? Via instant messenger, chat websites, chat rooms. Different facilities are there for online chatting. Next is video conferencing. It is clear from the name itself that it can be described as a phone call with live video that allows multiple people sitting at geographically different locations to communicate by exchanging video and audio at the same time. And it is the best option to have a face-to-face interaction in real time. So beta, a video conferencing is what? It can be described as a phone call with live video that allows multiple people sitting at geographical location and to communicate by exchanging their videos and audios at the same time. And it is the best option to have a face-to-face interaction in real time. Next is e-learning, electronic learning. It refers to learning with the use of technology that enables people to learn anytime or anywhere. Electronic learning means with the use of technology that enables people to learn anytime or anywhere. It is less expensive than traditional learning and can be used to impart training to a large group of students at the same time. We can give training to students in an interesting manner also. So it saves time, reduces the need for costly classroom-based training, and we can also download study material needed for training from universities, which may incorporate various types of media like audio, text, virtual environments, video, and animation in any form we can use. Next is internet free calls. Another feature in the CAP of internet is that it lets you make free voice call and video calls to anyone across the world. You can make free calls at much lower rates at any place in the world. Some software even allows you to send free messages and videos along with the free internet calls. But the only condition is that the particular software application should be installed in the device at both ends. So if we are using software for message, for calls, audio calls or video calls, the condition is that that particular software should be installed in that device, your device as well as to whom you want to give a phone call. Means at both ends it should be installed. And after installing the software on a mobile or a computer system, you need to create an account on it. So here different examples of softwares are there, applications or softwares are there like Skype, Viber, WhatsApp, Tango, Doodle, Google Hangouts. So these different applications are there in which you can use these applications. It allows you to send free messages and videos along with free internet calls, voice call as well as video calls. Next is e-group. E-group again stands for electronic group. It is a meeting place for individuals who share the same interest, and it provides a platform for people to share information on the topics of their interest, messages and photo albums. E-group is what? It contains a discussion basically. It contains a message board where members can discuss topics of their choice by posting a message. and all the other members of the group, they can view or reply to the post. Next is social networking. You must be aware about Facebook, that is social networking site. A social networking site is an online platform that focuses on facilitating the building of social networks or social relations among people who share interests, activities, backgrounds, real life connections. And it can be done for social purpose or business purpose or both. And social networking sites are also called social media. Some sites are there, here it is written: Facebook, www.facebook.com, Twitter, www.twitter.com, LinkedIn, www.linkedin.com. So these are the social networking sites to connect to each other for social purpose or for business purpose. Next is Internet TV. Internet TV is what? It can be defined as a medium of delivering television content, but internet connection should be there. And it is available wherever a broadband connection exists. Internet TV, you can say it as it is also known as web television. It is more like a replacement for cable TV with similar offerings and fee. So Internet TV options include web-based shows, video on demand, regular television shows hosted on channel's website. You can watch Internet TV anytime on a computer screen, TV screen, or a mobile phone by searching and retrieving the programs of your choice. Some of the popular service providers of Internet TV are like Netflix, Hotstar, Sony Live, etc. Netflix, Hotstar, Sony Live. So these are. So next is Internet radio. Internet TV, after that Internet radio. It is clear from the name, as this name suggests, it is an online radio service that is broadcasted over the internet on dedicated radio servers. It is broadcasted in much the same way as the traditional radio with regard to its presentation and format. So, unlike the traditional radio station, which has its broadcasting limitations, but internet radio has no limitation. It is capable of broadcasting graphics, text, links with audio, thus serving all the senses to listeners. Some of the popular internet radio services are like Vivid Bharati, Radio Mirchi, Pandora, etc. So this is internet radio. Next topic is potential threats while using the internet. So if you are using the internet, so some potential threats are there which can happen. It means it is a possible danger to security. So this I will explain you. While discussing computer security, a threat can be described as what? As it is as possible danger to security. Much harm can be done by breaching the security system of a computer through the internet. Harm can be done by breaching the security system of computer. A threat can be either intentional or accidental. Therefore, it is of utmost importance to be alert and vigilant while giving personal details like debit card, password, PIN, etc. on the web. So it is of utmost importance to be alert and vigilant because it can be either intentional or accidental. So following are some of these threats. First is malware. Malware is the short form of malicious software. Malicious software. It includes virus, worms, and Trojan horses. Viruses, worms, and Trojan horses. It initially behaves as a scareware and generates a pop-up message that tricks the users and result in downloading a malicious program. This program can reformat the hard drive of your computer, causing loss of information, and it may also steal your sensitive information. Sometime you will get a pop-up message, right? What it will do, it will trick the user, and by mistake if we will press on it, and the result will be downloading a malicious program. And this for program, it can reformat the hard drive of your computer, causing loss of information, and it may also steal your sensitive information. Next is viruses. A program that is secretly embedded on a computer system to steal, corrupt, or destroy data is known as computer virus. Computer virus is what? A program that is secretly embedded on a computer system to steal, corrupt, or destroy data is known as computer virus. It can change the functioning of a computer and can spread to other computers also. Next is Trojans. Again, Trojan is a malicious program that embeds itself into legitimate software and pretends to be a harmless application. But it is not harmless. It is an executable file that will install itself, run automatically once it is downloaded. And it has the ability to hide itself from antivirus detection. Once inside your computer, a Trojan horse can do what? It can delete your files. It can record your username, password, other useful information by logging keystrokes, or use your computer to hack other computers. So they do not replicate themselves. Next is worms. Worms are a common threat to computers. A worm, like a virus, attacks a computer on its own without attaching itself to files or programs. What it can do, it takes a place in your computer's memory and propagates by sending itself to other computers in a network. And it consumes the system memory or network bandwidth heavily, thus adversely affecting the speed of a computer and the network. Next is keyloggers. It is a program that records every keystroke that the user to get important information like passwords and other sensitive information fraudulently. After that, cookies. A cookie is a text message given to a web browser by a web server. The web browser saves this user specific data in a text file. This file is called a cookie, and it is later used by the browser to prepare customized web pages. A user is not required to fill the stored information every time he purchases goods online. Cookies are otherwise safe documents which can be deleted anytime, but they can produce harmful consequences if read by an unauthorized person. Hackers also can use cookies to gain access to the user's sensitive information, which can be misused to commit further crimes. So it is advised, if cookies are there, they are deleted periodically so as to avoid any kind of privacy threat, especially when working on public computers. Next is spyware. It is a type of software that secretly collects information about an online user. Again, it monitors the surfing habits of the users and steals information about the visited web pages, email addresses, passwords, credit card numbers, like this. Next is spamming. All of you must have seen in email, spam folders are there. Spam. So basically it is a serious security threat. Email spamming involves sending unwanted message or undesirable advertisement to a large number of recipients. So it is a serious security threat as it can be used to deliver emails that could contain malicious software like Trojan horses, viruses, worms, spyware, and other attacks aimed at obtaining sensitive information. Next is scareware. Again, it is a malicious software. Malware, you can say, which pop-ups a window informing the user that system is infected and asks for a fee to clean it. It tricks the user to click a link which in the background downloading the malicious programs. Ransomware, it is related to scareware. It also gives a fraudulent warning regarding the system being infected. It installs malware that demands payment and either blocks the access to the system or threatens to wipe out the files if payment is not made. So dear students, these are the potential threats: malware, malicious software, viruses, trojans, worms, keyloggers, cookies, spyware, spamming, scareware, ransomware. So these are the potential threats. We should be cautious because it is of utmost importance to be alert because sometimes we are entering personal details. If any potential threat is there, they can take our personal information, sensitive information they can share, and they can hack our computer also. So read this chapter carefully up to potential threats. In next class, we will be starting from netiquette. On the basis of reading up to where we have done, you can try to solve 2 back exercise. Thank you. God bless you.